The scene is coming together. Add the background before you start making drastic changes. Make another copy of the original node and set the copy mode to background. The channel seems empty because it needs to be set to RGB output mode. You don't need alpha channel for this pass. Use another compositor. This time a simple comp ops will do. Use the resulting blend from earlier as the A operator and the background as the B operator. The chess set is composited against the background, but the edges around the chess pieces display a white halo. Select the unpremultiply node again and change its values. Try 30% gray, 0.3. You are now ready to start experimenting with color correction and other effects. Use the PhotoLab color corrector to give the background a reddish apocalyptic look. Obviously, this doesn't work too well with the foreground anymore. Make a copy of the PhotoLab node. To wire it to the diffuse channel, hold Alt and insert it upstream of the diffuse node. The scene works better, but the reflection needs adjustments as well. Repeat the procedure to paste the PhotoLab settings to the reflection channel. Next, you will make color corrections on an individual piece. Earlier, you created a matte for the rook. You will use that to mask the selection. Add another PhotoLab upstream. Make a copy of the original node and set the copy to the matte rook channel. Link the existing tree as an input image and link the matte to the masking input of the PhotoLab node. At this time, though, making color correction changes affects the whole scene. In the Masking tab, notice the masking channel is set to alpha, but the matte image is actually a simple RGB black and white image. Change the masking channel to a color channel such as red, and try making color corrections again. This time, only the rook is affected. If you render the whole animated sequence in 3ds Max, the matte renders accordingly and the masking of the rook is carried from one frame to the next. Finally, you will use the masking technique to create the depth of field effect. Under Filtering, add a blur effect upstream. For a mask, make a copy of the original node and set it to Z-depth. Connect the composition as an input image and wire the Z-depth node to the blur masking input. As earlier, set the masking channel to any color channel, as the Z-depth output is simply an RGB black and white image. Set the blur effect to about 2. The foreground gets blurred and the background is in focus. To invert the effect, add the color correction invert node to the Z-depth node. Finally, wire the whole tree to the output node if you wish to render the results. Of course, this movie barely scratches the surface on the possibilities of post-production work. It is meant to introduce you to the embedded channels that you can store in an open EXR file. With that, you can make drastic changes without having to re-render your 3ds Max scene. Having a single EXR file with embedded channels also makes it much easier to manage your assets instead of rendering element passes to disk.